These are not real. These are props.
This is what the French slate hydrographic looks like. You can see that. And then the third house is really transformative. Because believe it or not, that's what it looked like before. So we changed the roof, and it was like, whoa, we put that roof on, we've got to change the house too. So that tile is more of a modern look. And here you can really see, as the angle changes,
just on the Buffalo front, I really want to emphasize we expect the Buffalo Gigafactory to be a powerhouse of solar panel and solar glass tile output. It is going to be a facility. We've made that commitment to the state of New York. We are going to keep that commitment.
Million new roofs are replaced in the US each year. I made this little chart up that kind of assumes, goes year by year, what I think in my optimistic projections Tesla will do. They're going to install about 5,000 roofs this year, gradually scaling to about 1 million roofs per year by 2022. Among this, I assume that the cost per roof goes down by 5% per year, because I think that's kind of like a reasonable assumption to make. Just as Tesla's technology improves, they'll drop the prices. The other thing is, I assume that each customer buying a solar roof will also buy 2 power packs, because they will have the battery to store the energy and have the full solution. And then I also assume that the cost per power pack degrades 5% a year. Bam, here's my estimates. If Tesla delivers and installs 5,000 solar roofs this year at an average selling price of $50,000, and the average home adds 2 power walls with an average selling price of $11,700, we're looking at over $300 million in revenue this year alone just from the solar roof. Given Tesla's energy generation and storage business was at like an $800 to $1 billion run rate right now.
See the solar cells. Here we put a film with microlubers on it so that as the angle changes, it goes from transparent to opaque. So from the vantage point of the street,
about $400 million in revenue this quarter out of $6.3 billion total. So, 7% of the total business. But in the long run, Elon has said that the energy business could be just as big as the automotive business. And going forward, growing off a much smaller base, will have much higher growth rates. I think the solar roof is going to be a huge, huge piece of that puzzle. And if you go to the solar roof website, which looks so amazing right now, and I love how they have this graphic here where you can see, all these little wires and connectors. This is the key innovations they made in the install process, is reducing the amount of parts that go into connecting all these little tiles and making that super easy to install. And that's sort of been a big cost breakthrough. They have these interesting pricing comparisons where they say the solar roof is priced at $33,950 for about $7 a square foot or $1.99 a watt, versus a premium roof, new roof with solar panels would run you about $43,000, $790. And so what I've been seeing on Twitter also is that a lot of people have been waiting for the solar roofs, and their price quotes got basically cut in half, or a huge decrease in the amount Tesla was quoting their price because of this new tile. So that's a really interesting structure there. Let's just crunch some numbers here. Assuming that 34,000 ASP per solar roof times 1,000 roofs a week, we're looking at about 30 million in revenue per week at that 1,000 per week run rate. Annualized, that would be a $1.8 billion revenue stream, which is already about the size of Tesla's entire energy business today. And like Elon said, they want to get to 10,000 solar roofs a week, 20,000 solar roofs a week. When they really ramp this to scale, we're talking about tens of billions of revenue, 20 billions in revenue. I mean, this is a huge product. Like he said, 100 million roofs. And sure, there's only about, a couple million of those roofs that actually get turned over each year. So it's going to take a long time to really transition a large portion of the population to this type of technology. But the immediate addressable market, like Elon says, demand is going to outpace supply. It's all about how fast they can ramp production. In terms of gross margins on this product, I would assume they're going to be super low to start and then ramp as they scale production, just like a vehicle. But the point is, I think at a high level, to summarize this episode, really exciting stuff to see that Tesla has not abandoned the solar roof. They were just working extremely hard on it. Now they've unveiled it. Now this V3 has huge improvements in the installation process that allow cost savings to make this ready for prime time. They are installing it today in the California area, working on that install process, getting ready to ramp that to 1,000 per week, which could be about $1.5 billion to $2 billion revenue run rate, and then scaling from there. So this is a serious needle mover in terms of the financials for Tesla that is going to start picking up in 2020. And I mean, when you start thinking about the tailwinds that are coming for this company, in the vehicle business, Model Y, China Gigafactory, in the energy business with the Megapack, and then solar with the solar panel leasing, and now the solar V3 roof, so much excitement going on here. So anyway, that wraps up this review of the solar roof. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please check out our Patreon page if you want to consider supporting the show. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Hey there, welcome back to our channel. Your love and support help us further our mission to explain our everyday psychology. So let's begin. What does it mean to be manipulative? Manipulation means to control, change, or warp the behaviors or perceptions of others. It involves the use of deception and underhanded methods to achieve personal aims. Thus, there is often a negative connotation because it's considered to be exploitative and cunning. Have anyone in mind? Let's take a step back and go through some of the signs of a manipulative personality. Here are 8 signs of a manipulative person. They spread false information on purpose. How does false information relate to manipulative behavior, you ask? The thing is, it can affect an individual's perception of various matters or about a person. The manipulation begins with a circulation of false information as an attempt to get people to view things in a certain way. By doing so, the manipulator can gain more control in achieving their desired outcome because they've manipulated people into thinking the same way. 5.
We need to define fraud and talk about the 4 elements of fraud. The first is an intentional misrepresentation of a material fact. The second is knowledge that the representation is false. The third is reliance on the fact by the recipient of the information. And the fourth is damage as a result of the misrepresentation and reliance upon that misrepresentation.
Hydrographic looks like. You can see that.
So let's break down some of the terms used in these 4 points. Misrepresentation is a statement of fact that is false. An omission may also be a misrepresentation. If something is intentional, it does not happen by mistake or accident. It is purposely and knowingly done.
And a normal roof that looks better, lasts longer, has better insulating effect, and where the cost of roof plus electricity is less than that of a normal roof.
Something that is material is significant enough to matter. The victim, in the case of fraud, must have relied on the misrepresentation or have been intended to rely on it. The damage that results from the fraud could be financial or otherwise.